Live from the city of Logan, here at Dunamis Church. This is our new video podcast today at Dunamis. I'm your co-host, Edward, and I now have a very awesome thing to do to invite our host, Shaun Hansen.
Today,
Woo!
to talk life at Dunamis.
Woo!
I was expecting a cheer on the machine.
Oh,
there,
I'm
Ed.
sorry.
Let's do a
Hang
cheer.
on. Here we go. Woo!
Yes. And the crowd erupts.
Woo!
Yes.
This is going to be an awesome first episode.
So, welcome to everybody who's either watching us live or whether they're listening to
Listening to us on the replays or anything like that. Maybe
us.
just listening
However
at
it
work.
works. And
Yes.
those who are in our city or in our state or in our nation
Yes.
or in the world.
The world, anywhere. The UK, America, South America,
Yes.
Antarctica. Hey,
Yes.
if you're listening to us from Antarctica, drop us a comment. Please, we'd
No,
love to talk to you.
I want to know if Julie listens to us. Julie Sutton and her husband David from Guatemala.
Yes.
Or our friends in Peru, our
Yes.
friends in Japan.
Yes.
Even our little friend in Ireland. Wherever you are, just let us know.
Little friend.
Well,
I know you're talking about. I know
Yes,
who you're
yes.
talking about.
to be sure.
Yeah.
So why don't we just take a moment, Ed, to explain what we're doing? Because this is, some people will be thinking it's our normal prop TV, the program that we normally do.
Yes.
So
So this is like our new video podcast. You can think of it like a TV show. You could think of it like, not like a TV, like a news show. You could think of it like just two mates talking about the news. But we're also doing some other stuff. We'll be interviewing people from around the world, and we
Yes.
mean that literally
Yes.
because we have the capability to
Yes.
interview anyone and actually get their video content to us on this set to your faces as well.
Yeah.
And we'll be debuting new episodes of Faith in Action.
yes, and Faith
As well.
in Action is going to be exciting. So we're going to be doing our first one in Faith in Action when? 2 weeks?
Very
1
soon.
week?
I'm hoping 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And that one, if we could say, is going to be on Matt Patterson.
Matt Patterson.
So in case you don't know who Matt Patterson was a few months ago, there was an incident where somebody broke into the church and broke into the office, and it
Yes.
was a pretty serious thing with the police. Myself and Shane were in here, guns were drawn, it was pretty intense. And so we actually went out together about a month ago, didn't we?
Yep.
And we did an interview with Matt.
Yep. At his house.
At
Yep.
his house, yes. And so we will be showing that particular interview.
Yes. Very fun. Oh, not fun. Fun. And a very
know if it was fun.
a very indulging. Indulging, that's the right
Yes.
word? It was a very good interview.
A very
It was
good
a very, very heartwarming, very emotional interview. It was good.
Yes, yes. And let people know, too, that if they are live, which
Yes.
is our time right now, they can, if they know my phone number, they can text me directly, and I'll get that text message. And if it's appropriate, I'll answer that. I'll read to it.
Yes, you can
okay?
text me too. And if it's inappropriate, I might answer.
And all else fails, contact Erica.
Yes, if all else fails, contact Erica.
So big shout out to Erica.
Yeah.
On the photo you might have seen there. So she is the one behind the scenes. And what do we describe her role as
she
being?
is the technical vision switcher.
The technical
Vision switcher. Yeah.
Don't really understand what that means. It kind of feels like a radio feeling here.
Yes, live. from
Live here at
Dunamis
Dunamis.
Church.
So interesting stories, and I'm hoping that next week we're going to be interviewing a particular pastor over
Yes.
in the United Kingdom,
Yes,
Josh Williamson.
Josh Williamson.
And
yes.
I'll be sharing a bit about his story, and we've already communicated with him on Tuesday,
Yes.
our time, and we'll be getting him on, and we'll be talking to him. And this is a very intriguing
Very.
story that's only just really come to light the last few days.
Very fresh, very raw, very intense. What's happening over in the UK?
Yes, and I'll be sharing a bit on this. And this is about how a pastor of 20 or 30 people
Yep.
has all of a sudden had an impact
Yeah.
in their county,
Mhm.
city, if not around the world, because there's people over here and everywhere else talking about it.
Yeah.
And I know Josh,
Mm.
and it's a very interesting, but we'll share about that more later on
Yes.
as we go in the program. So today at Dunamis, this is the 9th of September in the year of 2020.
2020.
So what do we want to do in this
Let's
show?
talk about our own state first, because we have something very important happening soon, and that is the state elections. Now, I know the first thing you might be thinking, why do I care about elections? Elections
You better
don't change anything. If elections actually changed things, they'd be made illegal. So I'm not going to register. I'm not going to register to vote. Elections are dumb. No, elections are so important. Do you not have this defeatist attitude that, my vote, I'm just one person? No, that one thing, that one vote can change. I think there was a county in Queensland last election where it was pretty minimal, but like it was 60 to like 61. That one vote changed the chair from flipping. So voting matters.
What about in the Logan City Council? Not this one, but the one before. Steve Swenson.
Yes.
When he was a councillor, he won by I think it was 7 votes.
Yeah. See, 7.
7 votes.
Those 7 people changed a voting area. The outcome completely. Those 7 people. Voting matters.
And it is an important time for our state.
Yes.
And I know we're dealing with the state. But boy, is it overshadowed. It'll be like, when is our elections, on the 31st?
Yeah, elections are on the 31st of October.
That's Halloween.
Uh-oh.
It'll be spooky.
Uh-oh. Do you
have that sound?
I don't, sadly.
Okay.
I took it off.
Okay. So the fact of the matter is that the 31st, but then just the week afterwards is the American election.
Yes.
Now, Ed, you and I do like politics.
Yes, we love
have
politics.
Lots of discussions.
Yes.
Other people leave the room.
Yes.
But and we'll get onto the American elections a little bit later on. So here's the big key. So really, it's Labor versus LNP.
Yes. Please don't vote for minor parties. It might make you feel good that, I'm voting for the independent. But when you're wasting your vote, they will never become in power, and they will never be able to do anything truly constructive, because the Greens or other people like that, they have such extreme opinions that it legit scares people away from them. You might think, yeah, I'm going to go for the independents. No, they don't do anything.
Well, let me just make this clear, Ed, for the sake of those listening. We are conservative.
We are conservative, yes.
So please respect and understand that we hold to the conservative view.
Yes.
Okay, and so myself as the pastor of this church,
yes,
and yourself as a friend and a co-laborer here in this church,
yes,
we are conservatives, and we're not embarrassed or ashamed, and we respect the rights of everybody.
Of course.
We do not want to Christianize this world where we make it forced to our views,
yes,
but we do wish to evangelize where we have the freedom to share. And I think that having the freedom to share our views is important.
Yes.
I just don't believe that we should have the freedom to destroy or to be demonstrative.
Yes.
As we've seen some of the protests, not as bad as America in any way, or even other states of our nation, but we should have the right to be able to share our view without trying to stop the normal flow. I don't believe that we should be stopping people from getting from A to B. I don't believe that we should be blocking things and hurting people. And I just don't believe in that at all. But I do believe, even if people don't agree with my view or your view, they have the right to share that.
Exactly.
And they don't have the right to shut us up.
Yes.
And so this is our platform of being able to share that. I won't lie to anybody because someone said to me, well, as a conservative, what's your greatest concern? Well, I'll be honest with you. When I vote, and I'm not a member of any party, I have been asked by several parties to be members over the past decade or more, and I have refused to join any member, even lobby groups.
Oh, really?
I've never been a member of any lobby group. Even though I've spoken at lobby group areas, I've never been a member. And I've done that deliberately because I have found out at times, whether they be lobby groups or whether they be political parties, how it might be today, which I agree with, might be different tomorrow.
Yeah, big time, yes. It could change, people's opinions can change at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, or different leadership comes in.
Yep.
Yeah, and so when I felt like we're running the same path, I have been with them.
Yes. And
then when they haven't, I've pulled back, and as I have done that. But I've never joined any group, and I won't join any group.
Yeah.
But my main concern, and this is who I am pro-life.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes.
So that's the number one thing, is pro-life.
Yes.
So right now, I am supporting LNP.
Yep.
Which is Judy Van Manen, who is in the seat of McAllister.
Yep.
And there's also Andrew Caswell, who is in the, is it called Waterford, or the seat area up there, which our church comes
Waterford,
into?
Yep.
So I'm supporting them, and that's my choice.
Yep.
Now, I can't speak for the church because they're individuals.
Yes.
But I'm supporting them, and the primary reason why is because they, in agreement with me, believe in life.
Yes. It's very disconcerting when you hear people just, oh, I'm anti-war. I don't believe in the death penalty. Oh, but I definitely believe we have a right to kill babies. It's just like, what kind of person will get up just to be okay, just to kill a baby? It is not.
Well, they don't say it's a baby.
Exactly. They will use other words. They disconnect it.
Yeah, they will not say it's a baby because the baby to them reflects human life, but there's human life from the moment of conception. Now, look, I understand, and we need to be sensitive here.
Yes,
there are cases where, and I want to be fair in this area and not to upset people who are conservative. There are people who have been raped.
Yes.
There are people where it could mean they will die if they have birthed this child. And I've had people come to me and say, well, Pastor, what do I do in this area? And my response to them, quite simply, is ultimately it has to be your conscience.
Yes. Yep.
See, I hold to a view, but I don't believe I have the right to force my view.
Yeah, to enforce it. Yeah, correct. Yes.
I have a right to share my view and not force it. So I can't speak on behalf of a woman who's been raped.
Yeah.
And I can't speak on behalf of a woman or a husband whose life depends on it.
Yeah.
Now, I do know cases where people have chosen to not go ahead in the pregnancy. And I do know of cases of people who've chosen to go ahead.
Yeah.
One particular woman in particular is in Michigan in USA who I met, I don't know, about 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
She's a pastor's wife. But before she was a pastor's wife, she was in the American Army. And she was out running.
Yep.
And when she's out running on the base, she got attacked and raped.
Oh.
And I've met this particular woman who's married with several kids. And she got attacked and raped, and she was pregnant.
Yes.
And she decided that that child was innocent of that barbaric thing. Now, I'm not saying this in every case. I'm just telling you of this case of this woman that I met in Michigan.
Yep.
And she gave birth to that child, but before she gave birth, she found a Christian family who would want to adopt that child.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when she gave birth to that child, she kissed that child. And she prayed a blessing of that child, and she handed that child to these Christian parents.
Yep.
Now, when she told me this story, now she has kids, there'll be adult kids now of her own. When she told me that story, I'll be honest with you, I wept.
Yes. Yeah.
First of all, how can I say I understand? Because I'm not in that area. So I'm sharing a different light in the area of life. Here in Queensland, the current government has brought in some of the strongest abortion laws, pro-abortion, that we've ever had.
Yeah.
And I do get very concerned about it.
Yes.
I do get very concerned. And so that's paramount. We had a former Prime Minister of Australia, LMP, who believed in abortion. And I told the sitting members that I couldn't vote to them during the time that he was the leader of the party because of his view on abortion.
Yeah.
There are people, Ed, who will support a party or a group even when they go astray from values. Well, I don't do that. If that party changes values, I won't support them.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I won't do it.
Yes.
And it's something I hold very strongly to.
Yes.
Very strongly to.
If you don't value life, especially as innocent as a baby, how can your other views even hold up in those areas as well if you don't even care for the life of a child?
Yeah.
It's how can you stand morally when you're just okay with killing the most innocent example of human life?
Well, I mean, I know people who they tried to abort them as a child, but they survived.
Yeah.
In America, I know the Democrats are looking to bring in the law to where the law says that even if that child that was to be aborted lives, to let it die.
Yeah.
Don't just let it die.
It's horrible.
Previously, the law has been if the child survives the attempted abortion, they cannot let the child die. Now, the Democrats, now they're not in power, but this is what they want to do.
Yeah.
They want to bring in a law that says we let the child just lie there and die.
Oh, my goodness.
See, to me, that's murder.
Evil, yeah.
But at the same time, the same group says for those who are coming in, what they call illegal people coming over the borders, don't put kids in confinement or cells. At the same time, they're saying kill a baby.
Yeah, where's your moral compass? It's completely inconsistent and just horrible treatment of humans.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that we should treat children who are 6 or 8 being confined cruelly. So I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying it doesn't make sense. It's not balanced.
Exactly.
So someone said to me, if you lived in America, how'd you be voting? Well, look, I'm not saying that President Trump is my favorite person. I'll be honest to you. There's things about President Trump that doesn't make me comfortable as a Christian.
Yeah, I agree.
But compared to what's being offered,
yeah.
he's the best that I see.
Yes. Oh,
and it has to do with morality.
Yes.
Thousands of babies are alive today because he's a president of the United States.
Yep, during the RNC, he dedicated, I think, 5 minutes just talking about the life of babies and how important it is.
Yeah.
Just discussing, like, I am a president that saves babies.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to see a politician stand up and be like, yep, babies' lives are important, full stop.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Now, just going off a little bit, Ed, I see that on today here in Queensland that there have been 8 new cases of the coronavirus recorded.
Yes.
I saw that from the Courier Mail.
Yes.
But 8 new cases.
Yeah, from the cluster at the correctional facility, I think, and the Ipswich Hospital.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. 8 new cases. So it's not a thing to panic.
Yeah, don't panic. Don't panic.
All right, because I know that's what happens. And we as a church follow a very strict COVID-19 plan. And we follow that.
Yes.
In fact, we have a funeral going on here right now.
Yeah.
It's not someone from our church, but is a group that had contacted Josiah in the office, and because they couldn't find a facility that could allocate so many people.
Yeah.
So during this broadcast, there's actually a funeral service going on.
Yes, it's busy here at Dunamis today.
It's big to see at Dunamis.
Today, Dunamis.
Today at Dunamis, yeah. And so we do send our condolences to those who are doing the service.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is we are following a strict COVID-19 plan.
Yeah.
And we follow that on our Father's Day event.
Yep.
In our markets, we had a COVID-19 plan where we could do that, and which worked out really well.
Yeah, and it was a really enjoyable afternoon.
Photos.
Great photos. Yeah. It was great seeing all the dads just falling off the.
Yeah, and those who couldn't come because of Father's Day things, we respect that.
Yes.
But those who could, we made room for them.
Yep.
So there was another 8 cases. Now, what you have to remember is that I know the big news is how many cases there are, but to me, what the big news is how many have died.
Yes.
We haven't seen any deaths for, well, I don't know how long has it been that we've seen deaths, but we have a total of 6 deaths.
Yep.
So maybe Erica can look up to see when was the last time we had a death.
Yep.
I know New Zealand just had a death just this last week.
Yes.
And I know Victoria.
It's going down, but it's just
going down. It's still like, what is it now?
I mean, it's still high.
How many deaths in Victoria now?
Oh man, it's around the
700.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Grand total. Yeah.
No. I mean, how many deaths in Victoria? Maybe Erica can look up how many deaths in Victoria.
Our executive vision switcher.
Yeah, I think we should call her a number of good things here. One thing I've noticed about an Erica and an Ed. And a Josiah, which is unique. Are they millenniums? Is that the word?
Yeah, millennials.
Millennials.
Yes, the turn of the millennium.
One thing I've noticed, which I find most intriguing, is because you you are so much more electronically aware of things, like using equipment. Right? I found out you guys aren't very good at spelling.
Okay.
Erica's laughing at that one too. Is there a laugh on that one?
Yeah. I know. It's true. Look, it's true. I
mean, even on my point form sheet here.
You would bring this up.
Ed put down here. It should be debuting new episodes of Faith in Action. It says debiting. Okay, and I looked at it and went, debiting, but that's okay because sweet Erica, when I do my sermons and I send it to her, and she's a very busy woman, and I know it's got so much to do, and it originates with me as I'm typing it. I know that it originates with me. It's not typing the right words, but I trust it gets through. So I want to do a shout out to a particular woman who probably is so not into computers she'll never hear this program. Because she is a proofreader.
Yeah.
And I found that proofreaders know probably nothing about doing anything like this.
Yeah.
So I'll give a shout out to her. Maybe you can mention it. Sue Eldred.
Hey, Sue.
Thank you. She's done my last 6 or so, and she's got a new series for me going through it. And she's like a school teacher. She hands it back to me printed out with red pen. Red pen. I feel like I'm back in my early Bible school. Bible school for me. Before we had computers and learning the area. But I said to her, please keep doing it. And I said to Erica, does it upset you that I'm using Susan, and she said, please keep doing it. Please keep doing it. So I found out the millennials are great on this area, and because they're relying on spell check.
Yeah, hey, look, our phones come with spell check. I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time.
Yeah. Well, cry me a river, Ed.
I will.
Okay? Because otherwise we'd have debuting and not debiting. Okay, so praise God. But it all works out well. But no, these are good. So the 26th of May, you sent me a message, Erica. What is the 26th of May? So that was the last COVID death in Queensland. So how many deaths in Victoria right now? So the 26th of May was the last time someone died in Queensland. So please, Queenslanders, calm, breathe, and thank the Lord that the 26th of May was the last time when someone died in our great state.
Yes.
There's only been 6 deaths. Now in Victoria, which to my friends overseas is a long way away from here.
Yes, very far.
It's like driving from here to, it's like driving from Texas to California.
Yeah.
All right, maybe longer. So how many, there we go. 683 have
Whoa.
died. How many last night died in Victoria? But 683 have died in Victoria at this point, which is just, and if you work out the total deaths are only 700 something, it's 80-90%. Victoria. So, but we should be praying for that nation, that state, and praying for them. I said nation, that we cut them off. So 19 hours ago, 8 more died, which is low for them, but still 8. That's more than our total since May. Yes. So we certainly pray for them. We think of all the believers, and if there's anyone from Victoria listening to us, let you know that you're in our thoughts and our prayers, and we're standing with you and pray for you. And Ed, I was thinking about it. How much of a strain does it cause on mental health?
Oh, it is just being FOMO is the new mental health thing that's been happening to a lot of young people.
Did you say FOMO?
Yeah, FOMO.
So
fear of missing out.
An acronym.
Yeah, it's an acronym. Sorry about that.
I thought you were talking about ScoMo and said it wrong. You know what I mean? Like our Prime Minister.
Yeah, so that's one of the major ones that's been going out. Yeah, the fear of missing out. What of missing out? Missing out. Hanging out with friends because of limits, maybe in activities you want to go out with.
Yes.
Maybe the fear of missing out on finding a wife, for example. Single people can't really.
How does that work for you, Ed?
Hey, well, you know what I mean. Like, maybe I'm projecting a little bit.
While you're watching this online, if there's any young ladies who'd like to meet Ed, let us know. What age group, Ed?
Oh, I don't know. I'm 25, I think, so around there.
Around the 20s, okay. Not the 40s or 50s. So, but speaking of mental health, tomorrow is an important day. Yes. It's called
Are You Okay Day.
Are You Okay Day. And that's tomorrow, which is Thursday, the 10th of September.
Yep.
And it's called Ask, Listen, Encourage Action, and Check In. Ask, Listen, Encourage Action, and Check In. So they've gone a bit further this time. Yep. And this time they're saying, it's more than saying, are you okay? But what happens if they say?
If they say something, they say no. If they say no,
they say, I'm not okay.
Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, so ask is pretty simple.
Yeah.
All right. Listen is really important.
Yes, listening is very important.
And that's something I've always got to work more on, is listen.
What? What'd you say? Hang on, what'd you say?
Oh, we're listening. Okay. And then, seriously, he loves that one. I was going to do the violin one for you.
Yeah, we have very funny sound effects on here. It's very funny.
So,
are you okay?
But on a serious note, it's ask and listen, and then here's a new part, right? Yep. Which is added now, is encourage action.
Yes.
So encourage action means you say to them, if they say, I'm not okay, then you say to them, how would you like me to help or support you?
Yes.
And that's where you can't force yourself on them, but you have to invite them to tell you how you want. And if you find out that they've been down in this area for 2 weeks or more, then you've really got to encourage them or get them professional help.
Yes.
And if you find that they are just really gone, then you just got to call 000 and get medical help.
Yes.
You got to do that one.
Yep.
And then the last point they said there is check in with them. And I think that's really important.
Yeah.
It's just, don't just ask it once and say, okay, that'll do for this year. I'll call back next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's hard. I have somebody close who does have mental health issues.
Yeah.
And where I have tried many times to communicate, and they just use 4-letter words to tell me to get lost. Oh. And well, it's very hard. It's very hard because you know, they become very aggressive.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a very hard situation.
Yes.
Very, very hard.
Yeah, mental health is, with checking in with people, sometimes just the act of going out of your way to say hello to them can mean the world to some people. If they don't get that, just that little bit of social interaction will go a long way to think, you know what, this person's gone out of their way to check up on me. You know, maybe life isn't so bad. And they might be thinking, well, that just sounds a bit unrealistic, Ed. But it could be the seed, planting the seed to be able to get through to someone to help them out in that dark time that they're in.
Yeah,
just the mere asking them, hey, are you okay? And just checking in with them can mean the world to some people.
Yeah, and people can, if you want to, check in with me, if you want to text me, you can do that while we're talking, so we can get the zeros. Now, thinking biblically, can you think of any Bible people or persons that you think suffered with mental health?
Would it be Paul when he was in prison?
I think that's a good answer. So we're talking about Acts chapter 16, when Paul was in prison with Silas.
Yep.
But I would think that he didn't suffer mental health issues, but rather he had a key to overcoming it.
Yes.
Because the Bible says when he was unfairly accused, he was severely beaten, falsely charged, not only put in prison, but into the inner cell, and not only put in the inner cell, but he was shackled. The Bible says at midnight, and probably he was awake at midnight because he was so sore and so much pain, it says he began to pray and sing.
Yeah.
He began to pray and sing. And as he began to pray and sing, the Bible says everybody was listening, and something happened. There was a suddenly in verse 26 where things changed. So I'd put that down as that he overcame that mental health situation.
Yeah.
Now, young John Mark, the missionary trip before, anxiety, whatever else, the Bible says he turned away and went back home. But I was thinking of, what about Elijah?
Yeah.
When he was doing all these great things for God, and then all of a sudden, when Jezebel announces that as he has done, they will do to him, and he goes off, travels for a day or two, and leaves his servant and goes off, and he just says, I want to die. So that's got to be depression.
Yes.
And I love the way the Lord ministered to him. The Bible says he woke him up, fed him, asked him to go back to sleep again, woke him up, fed him, and then took him out of that place to a new place to where he could minister to him. And I think that was pretty positive.
Yes.
In that context. I think Job had have to suffer mental anguish.
Yeah.
He lost his children, his wealth.
Yep.
His wife certainly didn't understand. She just said, curse God and die.
Yeah.
He was reacting to his friends. Well, a couple of his friends were just saying, what have you done wrong and everything else.
Egging them on, that kind of thing.
Yep. And but ended up, I think it's from Job chapter 37 through 37 or 38, where God starts talking about the bigness of God. He says, well, where does lightning bolts come from?
Yeah.
And he's like, huh? He says, who created this goat to be able to give birth, and what does this happen here? And it's all like, well, how is this relative?
Yeah.
And what God was trying to say to him is said, hey, I'm bigger than your problem.
I'm bigger, yeah.
And so I think there are good things. And of course, to me, the ultimate tragedy, I imagine, of mental health would be the suicide of Judas.
Yeah.
Judas Iscariot.
Yes.
Where he betrayed Jesus.
Yep.
The sad thing here, Ed, is that for some reason he just didn't believe that God could help him.
Yeah.
Christ would forgive him.
Yes.
Christ would forgive him. But he went to such a spiral that he actually came to the place of thinking that I can't be helped. I've done the worst thing.
Yeah.
And this is the thing where suicide is a major thing in our nation.
Yes. And
how many people think they can't be helped. But God can always help you.
Yes. God can do the impossible.
Yeah. And, call up a pastor, call up someone, call up Lifeline, call up someone.
Yeah.
We're dealing with cases in our fellowship, directly and indirectly, to where mental health is a real major thing. Even when we talked about Matt, he had a psychotic
episode.
Psychotic episode where he thought it was the end of the world. In fact, I know somebody else who is living in a constant psychotic episode, thinking it's the end of the world and everything else. Because I don't agree with his eschatology, he calls me the Antichrist.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I thought.
Jeez.
Well, what's the definition of the Antichrist in the gospel? It's those who deny Christ.
Yeah.
I don't deny Christ.
Yeah.
I don't deny Christ. Just because my theology might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's differently. But this is a sadness. And to me, that's a reflection of a mental situation, a block.
Yeah.
And which is a great tragedy.
It is.
So it's a real important day tomorrow. So just keep in our thoughts, especially tomorrow, and not only in our thoughts, but hopefully throughout the year, and what to do. But I think it's a good thing. It's a good point.
It is a great point.
I'm looking at your points down here. You want to say any more about our elections coming up?
The
Greens worry me.
Yes, the Greens. Don't vote for the Greens. Don't vote for minor parties.
Well, I don't think we can really tell them not to.
Okay, yeah, that's true. But don't waste your vote.
Don't waste your vote.
Postal voting information is going to be coming out this month in September. So if you would like to postal vote because of fears of COVID, but
that sounds like an American ad.
Oh,
do people scared to do that over here? I go in early to vote every time,
Me
but
too.
that's not postal. That's that one that's a week before.
Oh, 2 weeks before. So it is early elections will open on
About
the
15th?
19th. 19th of October will be the first day you can do early elections, and that's what I do too.
I'm going to be involved in this one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to be at one of the booths.
Oh, really?
Doing shifts, handing out flyers.
Wearing a gas mask and gloves.
Mask.
Gas mask.
I don't know. Do we have to be masked? I don't know. But I mean, gloves probably.
Yeah, gloves.
But
most likely.
I will be out there actively involved.
Do you know what the most... I'll tell you this funny story. This is not a vote of it. I went to...
Do you want to assist me? Do a 2-hour shift?
Maybe I will. Because I went down to an early polling booth once and I was wearing a Hogs and Bull shirt, right?
Yes.
And it had Dunamis Church on it, and it was in this electorate.
Yeah.
And the Greens ignored me. The Labor people ignored me. LNP came up to me and said, "Hey, you're here to vote. We've heard of Dunamis."
So
and,
you think you think because of the church's name?
Yeah, because they saw the word church, so they just totally ignored me. But then the LNP
I
came
do try
up to
to
me.
share to the other parties. I'm not a member of any party and won't be.
Yeah.
And I haven't always voted for LNP.
Yeah.
Because when I feel like they've had leadership that's anti what I believe, I won't vote for them.
Yeah,
I
legit.
still won't if they did that.
Yes.
But as long as we're in that same area, I vote for those who have the closest values to me.
Yes.
And that's right. But I'm being actively involved this time. It's been a few years since I have been, and so I've done it before in federal, and I've done it before in local.
Yes.
So I am going out there just to help at the booths.
Nice.
On election day.
Nice.
So I'll put you in to be with me.
Yeah, I'll come. If I'm free, I'll come.
Well, I'm giving you notice.
Okay, I'm doing it.
It's Saturday the 31st.
Saturday the 31st. Oh, that's election day.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
Oh, let's do it. I'm going to come. I'm going to come and hand out flyers.
Do 2 hours.
Yeah.
And the key is I take a slab of water with me.
Yes.
And if anybody looks found, I hand them water. I don't care what party they are.
Yeah.
And I just hand them water. I learned that from Brad and Ruth Payne. They did that on
okay.
one. I was away
nice.
and we did it. And it was a few years back with the local government, and they were just blessing people. See, it doesn't matter who they are, what they believe. If there's a need, I want us to reach out and be nice to them. You can have a different view, but you don't have to be mean.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have to be vulgar or nasty.
Yeah, exactly. Just because we differ on like 1 point, or maybe even 2, doesn't mean we have to just suddenly just hate each other.
And this leads us into this next conversation, Ed, is that the church or the Christian gets labeled with so many labels.
Yeah.
And we get made out to be haters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is what worries me. We get labeled to be haters when all we're doing is sharing our beliefs.
Yep.
Now, let me take this example.
Yes.
This is a gentleman. He's a pastor. I've known him. Well, actually, he originally came to the Bible school here.
Oh, wow.
And I think he even got saved here. I'm not sure, but he went to the Bible school here. Not in your time, Erica, was it? No. His name is Josh Williamson.
Yes.
And he left Australia just a while ago to go to the United Kingdom. That takes a lot of faith to go and do that.
Yeah.
I would not want. Yeah. My family came from the United Kingdom,
really?
England. Yes.
Ah.
I think they came over in 1961.
Oh, geez. That was around World War II, right?
Yeah, whatever, Ed. So 1961, they were called the 10 quid Poms.
Okay.
Or 10 quid, I think that means 10 pounds. They could come by boat, which took 6 to 8 weeks, or by plane, which probably took 2 days.
Yeah.
And it was 1960, 61, and I was born here in 62.
Oh.
So I've always classified myself as an Australian.
Yes.
Even though I have a funny accent.
Funny, very funny. Oh, I got a funny accent too. Don't worry about it.
Yes, your accent is funny. But anyhow, this is from the Cornwall Live.
Yep.
Okay, which I believe is a LGBTQ.
Yeah, they're very pro LGBTQ
paper.
Yeah.
And they said this: outrage at church's homophobia after pastor says no such thing as a gay Christian. This was the readings of it from the Cornwall Live.
Yeah,
I saw it on Facebook. Pastor Williamson has come under fire after he praised the news of Cornwall Pride's cancellation. And it says people are being left outraged after Cornwall church pastor declared there's no such thing as a gay pastor. So and his story is, they go on to say, is it intolerant for to call for a pastor to be? I mean, it's caused big things. In fact, even to where the town councillor of Cornwall, Stephen Hick, who's also the Cornwall Pride leader. So you're not going to get very far if the local councillor is also LGBTQ.
Yeah. Geez, everyone's against you.
And he said here, is it tolerant to call for a pastor to be removed from the country and have their visa revoked? So he's saying, let's kick him out of the country.
Yeah, geez.
Then he says, is it tolerant to call on every individual and business within Newquay, I don't know, which must be the Shire, to deny him and his church the ability to spread their odious message? And is it tolerant to tell businesses and members of the public to not interact with the church and don't allow them to use your premises, don't accept their message? And Stephen Hicks says such actions are acceptable. And I have a picture here of the paper headline from the Newquay Voice in the area. And then he received so much hate text messages, messages that I could not personally read because of the 4-letter words.
Yes.
And there's messages saying, let's burn the church.
Yeah, like how despicable is that? Oh,
and it goes on and says, hey babe, would you be mad if I burnt down a church? Talking to his partner. And then his partner says, I'll drive you. And then another one says, let's burn a church, let's burn a church. And then it says gingers, which I imagine is redhead, let's unite, burn churches.
And they were referring to burning the church while there were people in there. Right. To be more specific. So just for a little bit of additional context, that when we said there's no such thing as a gay Christian, there was a scripture reference he did bring out, which was 1 Corinthians 6-9, and it's just, don't you know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived. No sexually immoral people, idolaters, or any practicing homosexuality. That's why he said that, and that was a scripture reference, just for reference.
And how that happened with Josh was that I had the actual Facebook page that he did there, and how it all started was he did a post, and it says here, on his private Facebook page, he said, we prayed at our prayer meeting on Tuesday night that this event, and the event seemingly was the
LGBT Pride March.
Pride March in that town. And he said, we prayed on Tuesday night that this event would be cancelled, not go ahead. And we also prayed that the Lord would save the organizers. And he said one prayer was answered. That was, for some reason, it was cancelled. I don't know, probably to do with COVID-19.
Yeah, COVID.
Okay. And so the next prayer is to be answered. So because he posted that, it caused such a huge outcry. Even I got some of the text messages that they sent. It's so vulgar. It says, if you, Newquay Baptist Church, me and my gay pals are going to come and have an orgy outside your door.
Yeah, utterly disgusting.
Let's all mutually agree that if any of us get past this, whatever, we are decking the very foul word here, 4-letter word, who handed it to us. And this town is only a town, I understand, of 25,000.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people.
No.
But, just so much hatred towards the church.
Well, what comes in there, and then, because he went to the police in that town, I had the report from the police, or what was shared in that area there. It was reported. And it says here from the police told the pastor, stop offending the gay pride, as the mob threatened to burn the church.
Yeah, to burn down the church.
He says, stop offending them. And then the Devon and Cornwall police said to Josh, the pastor, that if he continues to offend the LGBT community, he's breaking the law. and he may well have to face charges.
I actually love that. Threats of acts of terrorism is not considered breaking the law, but just saying there's no such thing as a homosexual Christian is, whoa, we got to shut the church down and all this kind of thing.
He didn't put that on his Facebook
Yeah, he
page.
didn't, yeah.
What he put down was that they had prayed that this event would go
that's
ahead.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Right? Now, I wonder what people say about the church, like this, right? And then what happened, seemingly, this is as far as I understand, when you and I talked to Josh on the phone.
Yeah, we talked to him, yep.
That two representatives from the LGBT community came to see him.
That's been attacking him.
And
Yep.
they're asking, why do you not support? And he handed them some literature.
Yeah, some literature, yeah.
Just to those two.
Yeah, that basically answers it's a 10 reasons on the truth about homosexuality in the church. I actually read some of it yesterday.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just literature explaining the incorrects that the public has on what it says in the Bible.
And similarly, an Anglican church down the road, or a couple doors up, he's fully supportive, which is up to them.
Yeah.
You know, true say. But the issue is he didn't do it public. He wasn't handing out flyers.
Yeah, he wasn't handing out.
He just answered
public
these
square.
people the question.
Yeah, having a conversation.
Yeah, but see, the same thing happens, and this is what happened with the football player as well.
Yep.
Right. He read a scripture, and then it was all whatever. And he said this church is open to any homosexual.
Yeah, yeah.
He processed. Any homosexual, any sinner is welcome at our church.
Yes.
We're all sinners.
Yep.
So he's not banning people, not doing it. He said, you're welcome here
anyone,
to hear the word of God.
Yep.
We're all sinners.
Yep.
He said, but this is my belief.
Yes.
Now, why can't we say you're entitled to your belief?
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're entitled to your belief.
Yep.
But why can't we share it?
Yeah, exactly. Why do you have the freedom to express your opinions, but suddenly when I want to do it, oh no, those opinions don't align with my opinions. No, cancelled. No, shut it down. Burn the church.
I mean, I have a person related to me who's gay, homosexual, whatever. I love that person unconditionally.
Yep.
It doesn't change my opinion of loving them.
Yep.
Do I believe that they are a Christian? Well, I don't believe they're a Christian according to the Bible.
Yep.
The same thing happens that if you're in adultery, or anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a sin.
Yes.
It's sin.
Sin, full stop. Yep.
So it's not us picking one sin.
Yep.
It's sin.
Sin is sin.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you could describe it however you want it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So sin is sin.
Yep.
So, which is morality.
Yes.
So that's what comes into. But that's why everybody, no matter who we are, have the ability to call on God to be saved.
Saved by grace. Yep.
But, well, I asked this guy, because he has only a small church. I mean, I think on the best day, it's like 20 people when he went there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said, how'd you go Sunday? He said, we couldn't fit everybody in.
Oh, jeez.
Well, because what happens, it creates this area.
Great, yep.
And, you know, I don't want Christians going out there and they're forming a line to do a fight against the others.
Yep.
But, you know, he has a beautiful wife, several young kids.
Yep.
And it's a big step. So I'm certainly praying. But we're going to interview him, we hope, for next week.
Yes, for next week's episode.
Yeah, next week's episode. So we'll be contacting Josh. And it'll be, he'll have to stay up the late hours to do it. I think we're going to pre-record it earlier.
Yeah, pre-record. Oh, no, it's live. It's live.
Oh, good.
It's live.
Okay. So it's he's winking his eye at me, but we're going to try our best. But no matter what, because there's 9 hours difference.
Yeah, 9 hours difference. Yeah. It's like 1 or 2 a.m. Oh no, it's like 3 a.m. over there right now.
Well, if we record him at 9 a.m., that's midnight.
Yeah,
for
midnight.
Him.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes. But we're going to do that. So
yes.
we'll come across and communicate. Also, I want you in the next weeks to talk to Pastor Eddie Mayastis.
Ooh, yes, Pastor Eddie. Yes.
He's in Los Angeles or California, out in the area of Pomona and Chino, and there's areas there. And of course, since you talked to him about how the governor of that area is wanting churches to stop, but yet things that happen. And, you know, do you know that, Ed, just this weekend, I was reading in the Courier Mail.
Yes.
Just this weekend in Queensland, there's estimated to be at rugby union games, 40,000 people attending different rugby union games.
Oh, my goodness. Just remember, that's okay. Sports games are essential, people. Just remember that. Sports is essential. But the church isn't. Just remember that.
Well, I mean, we are having church.
Which is great.
We are restricted.
We are restricted,
We are very restricted what we can have. And there are other churches who haven't even bothered to open up.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of churches around here that I know
churches,
of. Yep.
Yeah, we're a large church.
Yes.
We're a mega church. So I'd call us a large church.
Yeah,
They're
large
even
church,
a mega church. You know what I mean? and or someone would call us, but I mean, however numbers work.
Yeah.
But the issue is they're not opening up.
Yeah.
Still,
yeah.
But I still believe that we have a role to play.
Yes, in the ecclesia.
Yeah, okay.
In the ecclesia.
Oh, very good. Use a bit of
I remember that. I always refer to when people talk about the gathering, going to church. It's like gathering of the saints, the ecclesia.
So, how's your view on soteriology?
Well, you see, Shaun, when I first learnt about it, I was very.
Do you remember soteriology?
Oh, I was very lukewarm on it, and then I became a lot more.
That's very good. Soteriology is salvation. Okay, the study of salvation.
Study of salvation.
Ology is study. Soteria is salvation.
Okay.
So when you said lukewarm, that was a good answer there. So
okay.
You should have just kept bluffing it. It was really, really good answer. I really like your answer there. So it's good.
Oh, dang it.
So it is amazing how we're also doing the AFL Grand Final.
Yes. Yeah, it's happening. Yeah, very soon, and it's all just happening still.
I mean, I heard conflict. In one report says 30,000 to be allowed in.
Oh my goodness.
And then that Dr. Jeanette Young, maybe she's trying to cover, said, well, maybe 20,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But either way, it's a lot of people. You know what I mean? So, and it's just, there is a feeling that there's one rule for one and one rule for the other.
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Some people. Feeling.
Yeah, there's a feeling. Yeah.
Over 400 delegates from the AFL were family.
Yeah.
Now, they were restricted to the Royal Pines, I think it is, on the coast, but they had use of the whole resort, the swimming pools, grounds, and coffee and everything else with their children.
Yeah.
The 2 weeks lockdown. Whereas the average Joe is locked in a little, 4x5 hotel room?
If you're lucky.
2 weeks, so.
Yeah.
And there is a view.
Yes.
I don't know what your view is. Do you believe that a lot of the things happening in Queensland is because the elections are coming up?
I can tell you this right now. The state of the border is going to be a massive running statement for both parties. Yeah. What should be done with the southern state border?
Well, how do you feel? Do you want the border open or shut?
Okay.
I have my opinion.
Okay, so sometimes I will get a bit edgy with my opinions, and I will think to myself...
Just remember that the opinions is Ed's opinions,
just my opinions,
not the opinions of the church.
Of the church, or Shaun, or Eric. Maybe Eric. Look,
Eric,
the economy... when I was younger... I used to think that the economy...
Young, Ed, you're 25.
Okay, when I was like
younger.
24, something like that. The economy is just a made-up thing that doesn't exist, so why should we put so much thought and so much time? Why do people keep talking about the economy when people are dying? But now that I'm much more informed, I think a more balanced perspective on it it's much more okay. I still think that the health of the people should always come first before an economy, because if there's no healthy people to work in an economy, then it won't move forward, full stop.
Yeah.
So I think where it is currently at is probably the best thing to do, but maybe, if we can come up with better ways to check, like what's in America, you can get a COVID check like on the spot now, and it's not like it's not a 2-day turnaround.
15-20 minutes, is that?
It's 15-20 minutes. Like, if we had something like that there at the border to allow like freight maybe to come through, or some...
Well, freight is coming through.
Yeah, freight is coming through, but if they wanted to open it up more, to allow more without needing to get like all these different tickets just to be able to come through...
Yeah,
maybe if we had something like that down there to help with it, to allow more people to come through.
I know it sounds
safely.
controversial, but I personally feel safer with the borders closed.
I mean,
I won't lie to you.
Too. Yeah,
I know. But I won't lie to you. I do like the borders closed.
Yes.
But I also understand it's causing incredible hardship.
Yes.
So for those who are in business, especially up north and on the border, I fully respect that. And again, it's my opinion, and I'm not saying my opinion is right. I'm just saying it does feel safer.
Yeah.
Okay. But there has to be, like they just did the ruling here, I think it's just announced today, where the boarding school guys could go home over the border, country more so, right? To their parents for the holidays coming up.
Yes.
But seemingly they're restricted to that property.
Yeah.
Well, see, the question is, Do you really think that 15, 14, 16-year-olds on the property are going to stay just on their property? I mean, can you understand? And that way they don't have to go into lockdown. So really, I think in some ways the government is damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Exactly. It's a catch-22.
I mean, we had somebody on Sunday
Yep.
that we had to call police with
Oh, my goodness.
that keeping them isolated and everything else was just set up a tent on the back end of the property
Oh, what?
saying they'd escaped from New South Wales.
What the heck?
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was true or not.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was a bit of a situation. So we had to show due diligence
Yes.
of calling the police, and all we know is we don't know what happened. We know the person was gone
Yeah.
after the police visited. I mean, that won't come out if we think there was a security threat, but they came out when we said New South Wales.
Yeah,
See, when
yeah,
New
yeah,
South
geez.
Wales, use the word New South Wales, you call the police come in.
Yeah.
Imagine what happened if you used the word Victoria. Probably be a helicopter.
Helicopter.
Do you have a helicopter noise? No.
Oh, no,
Right,
no.
helicopters are coming there.
I got that one.
Okay, the drums will be all right. So it'll come in that area. But I mean, that in itself is quite intriguing. So, you know, it's a hard decision to decide.
Yes.
I don't even really know what Deb Freckleton and the LNP has really decided to do on that area.
Oh, look, I've heard talk about they want it to be opened up more quicker, and you know, it's basically like you choose one side for it to be open, one side to be shut. But I feel like it's not black and white when you look at it like that. And
So what do
Yeah.
you think is the political advantage for the Labor government right now if the border's closed? What do you think it is?
well, it's from a stance of they look like they care more about the people's health, and I think that's how they're going to spin it. It's going to be Labor cares more about the health of Queensland because we're keeping the borders shut,
Okay.
and they will then say the LNP doesn't care about the health of the people because they want it open. But it's not that black and white. But that's how they'll try to spin it because they can. It'll be the article headline: LNP kills people because they want the border open. That'll be headlines like that, or maybe vice versa. And
I think personally that
Yeah.
another view is, and you're probably very much right, is that they want to keep the amount of cases minimized.
Yeah.
This should be when you switch over to me and the camera. Oh, I just can't see it. Like there it is. I can see it. Oh, that's when I grab my nose. It's delayed. Okay.
Oh
that's
my! Are you watching yourself?
I am. I'm looking to see if there's any comments up here.
All right.
I see Lorraine Sterling and Romola Christian, and I see Jaya.
Oh, hey, Jaya.
Yeah. And someone called Chi Precious Bar. I don't know who that is.
Oh, he's Jaya's from Antarctica. Hey, shout out to Jaya.
I always thought he looked a bit like a penguin. Okay. So the fact of the matter is that I think a lot of it is to keep it down low to show they're being responsible.
Yes.
Last thing they want is Victoria's situation.
Yeah, Victoria's situation here. Oh my goodness.
It's out of control, which is a Labor government. But
Yeah.
anyhow, it's all different.
Yes.
It's all very different.
Yeah.
So it comes in. Well, you know, time's coming to an end soon. You know what I mean? We still got a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we do.
So should we talk about one of our favorite subjects?
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. The USA.
Yeah, America.
America. And we do have Erica here from the USA.
Yes.
Originally. She's
Yes.
an Aussie now, honorary Aussie. So from Oklahoma.
Yes.
But also across there in California. And if I know it, Redding, California, Bethel, is that right? And also in Oklahoma. I
Yes.
first met Erica. She's doing sign language. You can speak.
You can just speak.
2007. I would never have guessed that, would you?
No.
I was trying to count the fingers. It was a bit hard. Okay, 2007.
Yep.
And I didn't meet you in Oklahoma. I met you here, didn't I? You came with Pastor Darren. Could you believe that both Pastor Darren Bagley and Pastor Lenny Weston,
Yes.
within 12 months, have both died?
Oh my
I
goodness.
think Darren died almost a few days or a week before Lenny.
Yeah.
1 year anniversary. Okay, so it's sad.
It's very sad. Yes.
Darren, I think, was only around 54, 55,
Yeah.
something like that, and Lenny was about 64, 65. So very sad. Both passed away. So I do remember them both
Yes.
with fondness. And their spiritual father, Bob Phillips,
Yeah.
died 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. But anyhow, let's to just more positive news.
Yes.
Well, I rejoice because I know where they are.
Yes.
That's when I met Erica.
Yeah, Erica.
Bible school and
Erica.
got married. I did their wedding.
Oh, really?
I'll do your wedding if you want.
Oh, yeah.
It's either me or Joe, I suppose, but we'll see how it goes. And we'll do it together.
I'm just gonna go down to the office of weddings and funerals and just get married there.
Okay, so you don't want it blessed.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's man's law, then there's God's blessing.
Yeah.
That's up to you. I just did a wedding on the weekend, which is great.
Yeah, heaps of weddings going.
Heaps of babies. We've got
Heaps
babies
of babies,
everywhere.
yeah.
Wow. I mean, Sarah Dengay just had a little boy, Benjamin.
Yes, Benjamin.
In the old school, over 10 pounds.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a drum thing. Over 10 pounds.
Yeah, man, that's heavy.
Erica, what do you reckon? Bring tears to your eyes? Yeah. Okay.
I don't know pounds. So I
think it was like 4.86 kilos, something like that.
I'll be real with you. I don't know if that means it's heavy. I don't know much about baby weight.
Let me just promise you, that's a real big baby.
Okay,
it's heavy. Baby.
Well, Matt is a pretty big person.
Yes, it is. So congratulations to Sarah and Matt on their beautiful little boy. And Benjamin means son of my right side.
Yeah,
son of my right side. So, which is great. So we congratulate them. Let's talk about America in the last. I don't even have time now. 3.5 minutes.
We got some time. We can go just a little bit over time. It's okay.
Right. So
the debates are happening.
The debate hasn't happened yet, but they are coming.
They are coming on the 29th of September will be the first Biden versus
I am going to watch that.
Me too. I'm very excited.
We should do a watch party.
Yes. Live reactions.
Yeah. I wonder if Erica wants to see that.
She'd love it.
No,
she loves
doesn't.
politics. She loves discussing.
So I'd be interested to see that. Would you?
I would be. That'd be fun.
And there've been a couple of funny things. I know that there was Nancy Pelosi.
Yep. Speaker of the House.
She was saying like Joe Biden shouldn't debate because of whatever.
Trump's a liar.
Trump's a liar. Shouldn't debate.
Yeah.
It's not because maybe Biden is.
Yeah, maybe Biden isn't fully in the head.
And then Donald Trump says, I want Biden to have a drug test.
Yeah, call for a drug test before the debates. Both of us.
I only take aspirin. There's something wrong with him. So, and the reason why he said that was because he said on one of the Democrat debates, he was just totally out of it. He got torn apart by the woman who is now his nominee for vice president.
Yep.
But then when he went against Bernie Sanders, he was like a different man and tore into him. So Trump's like, he's got to be on drugs.
Yeah.
How could he be so up and down, up and down? So I'm not getting caught up into that stuff because it's too weird for me on either side. But it'll be interesting. So if Joe Biden does really well, that will in some ways go against Trump's whole thing.
Yeah.
If Joe does really bad, they'll be almost like, let's stop and show mercy because it's not just attacking him, but people who suffer from this area. But without a doubt, he makes a lot of mistakes.
Oh, man. What did he say? That the virus is going to last like 100 years or something like that?
He says, and guns have killed 150 million Americans. That's almost half their population.
Almost half the population, yeah.
Instead of saying Super Tuesday, he said Super Thursday. And he calls his sister his wife by mistake.
Yep.
And for me, I don't find it funny when I see him make those mistakes. I'll be frank with you. I don't find it funny. I find it sad because he's representative of a larger population who find it difficult. So I don't actually look at it and go, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
I actually go like, please take him off. Please stop it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I find it's demeaning towards people who are suffering this area. We've got to support them and not make a mockery of them. And that's what concerns me overall.
Yeah.
In your opinion,
we have
I said I don't think we have enough material.
Yeah. You were saying this, and I'm like, no, we have heaps. In fact, we have so much material, we didn't even get through all of it.
Oh, no. I mean, the time is up. But, I mean, I think of the election. Who do you think is going to win?
Look, the fact that they chose
Joe
Biden to be their front man, Trump's got it. I mean, if you want to, you can look at it from like the political perspective, purely from like a political compass standpoint. Trump and Biden aren't as extreme as a lot of people say. They have extreme views in very specific areas where they're different.
They're different.
They are different, but then they have similarities. It's not so black and white where Trump is extreme right and Biden is extreme left. They have extreme viewpoints in some areas like, health, abortion, the border.
Security,
police. Borders, that kind of thing. But then, like, even some basic things like should we support small businesses? I think they'd both say yes. Why wouldn't you support small businesses? Should we support medium businesses?
How are they supporting small businesses when Black Lives Matter
just rip through towns?
Destroying literally.
Towns.
You got mayors that got to say, "Oh no, it's nothing really."
Well, it's a 93%.
Until the mayor has his units burnt down, then he's relocating.
Which is funny because it only happens in blue states, so that's pretty funny.
But it concerns me about this area, and because in particular, law and order, the police are supporting Trump.
Yeah.
And they're supporting on the basis of that New York has taken $1 billion off of their police. How do you survive? You know what one of my favorite TV series is?
Lost.
Huh? Never heard of it.
You haven't heard of Lost?
No. No, I've never seen it.
That's a bra moment.
Okay. Blue Bloods.
Blue Bloods.
Yeah, Tom Selleck.
Okay.
Yeah, Tom Selleck.
Show from the 40s. Okay.
No, it's still running. I think they're up to episode 10 or 11.
Okay.
But it's Tom. I like Tom Selleck.
Okay.
And Blue Bloods, he's the police commissioner of New York.
Okay.
And I wonder how they're going to handle this in this series, losing the budget areas there. So anybody out there like Blue Bloods, Tom Selleck? Have you ever watched it, Eric? No. Nobody watches it. Why don't you watch it? It's actually better than these other weird shows.
Oh, yeah.
You got enough material to last you a long time. I think they're up to episode 10. And find out what episode they're up to now, Blue Bloods. So Tom Selleck. It's a great show. But anyhow, I was wondering, because he makes New York look good, but man, can you imagine being the
commissioner?
Commissioner.
Oh, yeah, commissioner.
Yeah, so which is intriguing. But
Yes.
I find that I've been to New York a couple of times.
Oh, really? I've never been to New York.
You have to come with us one time.
Yeah, I'd like to. I wanted to this year. I wanted to go see the
wouldn't
Ark.
go there right.
Yeah.
The Ark is not in New York. That's in
but
Kentucky.
It's in America.
It's it's nowhere near New York. Nowhere near New York.
Okay, all right.
It's in Kentucky.
All right.
Okay, Midwest.
Midwest, got it.
But anyhow, so
I was close, right? Okay.
so they've done 10 episodes. Okay,
Okay.
so that's 10 years.
No, 10 seasons.
10 seasons. Sorry, 10. It's 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Dang.
doing that one. So yeah, you should try and watch it. It might help you out. You won't feel so lost.
Hey.
But I personally think that Trump has a great chance of winning.
Oh, look,
I know of a pastor. This is controversial. I've got to be careful. This is another person that we want to bring on.
Ooh, let's go.
All right,
Let's go.
we're gonna try and get him on.
Okay.
The Aussie guy.
Oh, this guy. Yeah.
We won't say who yet. Right?
We know who we're talking about.
And if you're watching at some point, brother, I love you, and I do want you on.
Yeah.
Okay. But he has a connection with can we say, an international star pastor?
Yeah, we can say that. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Who is caught in this quagmire because I know he believes conservatively,
Yes.
but because of his churches,
Yes, and they're
and
everywhere.
there's key church in
Yes.
his churches is pretty liberal.
Oh, actually, I really know who you're talking about now. I'm not
say
saying
it.
anything.
Yeah. And that key church
Yes.
supports BLM, LB, whatever else. Right?
Yes.
And this pastor, who I do know personally, and I do like him,
Yes.
okay, went to actually the Republican rally
Yeah, went to a rally
where they
Yep.
nominated Trump,
Yes.
and he posted it, but he had to take the picture down because of factions of his group
Yes.
reacting.
And that kind of caused
So
a bit of...
you have to be true to yourself.
Yes.
Now, we haven't even talked about this injections and needles and fetuses and everything else, so that'll be another day.
Yes.
But the fact of the matter is there's some unusual stuff happening in churches.
Yeah.
And these churches haven't opened up yet
Yeah.
because they don't want to out of whatever reason.
Yeah.
But it could make or break some churches, in my opinion, Ed.
Oh man, like this
I want to
is
get
a
this
true
guy
test.
on one time.
Yeah, me too.
He does his own podcast show.
Yeah.
And I've known him forever.
Yeah.
Not literally, but from the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
But I've known him for a long time. And I want to get him on. If he's listening, I want to get you on.
Yes. Me too.
In the area. But he'll be a great run. So but it'll be encouraging.
Yes. All right. Well, that's some teasers for our next couple of episodes.
Yes, we need to finish up.
We need to
so go
finish
ahead.
up. So we'll be back here next week, 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time
Yes.
on a Wednesday on this set with a possibly. Well, we're really aiming for that interview with Josh.
Yes.
And it'll be both cameras going, and it'll be a great interview.
So, Josh, if you're listening, just confirm with me because we want to be able to connect with you and do it so we can work around your hours and make it work because Ed's done a great job here so we can do phone-ins or phone-outs or whatever else and show that on, so which is fantastic. So
great
Ed,
technology.
just thank you for what you've put together here. You've got a whole bunch of equipment.
Yes.
And just explain the equipment that you're able to get.
Yeah, so we were able to get some, it's called the Rodecaster, Rode Podcasting.
RODE.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Rodecaster Pro, I believe it.
Pro.
Yes.
Pro.
Yes.
And it allows for Bluetooth connectivity, which is sick, that you can connect any phone.
SIC.
You can connect any phone to it via Bluetooth and then have two-way conversations.
Yeah.
I mean, like I've called you up with it and played some funny sound effects through it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great desk, and you know, I have quite a lot of sound effects presetted on here, but we won't go through all of them.
And
today.
some others we might be able to add.
Yeah,
and please
exactly.
take note that we have kept our distance from each other.
Yes.
And I don't know if it comes out on camera at all. If you can zoom, I suppose you can even zoom back, but we have our distance.
We are distancing.
So we're kind of like a triangle here.
Yeah, it's a fun little triangle.
I'm on one point. You're on one point.
Yes.
Eric is on another point. So it's
Eric
all pointed.
Is camera operating right now.
She is camera operating, which is fantastic.
I think I'm going to be blurry because of the focus on it.
So Erica is trying to do it.
She's a professional.
I think she does a wonderful job.
Yeah.
So
she's all right.
I can see. What do you mean she's all right? I think she's fantastic.
You know what?
Out of
10, Erica, you're all right.
Really?
That's a little running gag between me and my mum. Oh, me and my family. That's what we say.
Erica's not your mum.
Okay. I know. It's a little running gag.
Good. Okay. All right. Maybe we should interview your mum.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'd like that. I'd like that.
Yeah.
All
right. So, which is great. So we're going to organize that, which will be fun. And maybe our friend will be on with us as well. Which would be fantastic.
Yes.
Which is good. And, you know, those who are interested in our church this Sunday, we can do that, can't we?
Yeah.
So we have our 8 a.m. and our 9:30 a.m. services.
Yes.
So the 8 it's our chapel service, which goes 8 to 9.
Yep.
And then we have our morning worship, which is 9:30 through to around about 11, give or take.
Yeah.
And at our 9:30 is the family service where we have the children's ministry.
Yep.
And Pastor Danny and Melissa are doing a great job filling in there. Great job.
Yes.
And we're also looking forward to having Stephanie back at the new year.
Yeah.
She'll be back because she took a year off, and so she'll be back in, which is great.
Yep.
And so good things happening there. Yes. And Sandra, my wife.
Oh.
My girlfriend.
Oh, nice.
38 years married.
Is that it?
That's longer than you've been born.
It is, yes. Yes.
Longer than Erica, too. Okay. And she's going to be sharing the word at the 8 a.m. chapel service and at the 9:30.
So have you heard this sermon at least 5 times already when you guys go for walks? Has she told you the sermon?
I'd like my wife to walk more than what she is. Okay. So maybe they'll be encouraging. But, no, I have not.
Oh.
And, but I'm sure I will. So she's working hard.
It hasn't been spoiled yet. Ooh, this is good.
Been spoiled. So it's probably from a book I'm familiar with.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning not from the book, but meaning ideas and thoughts that you can build on, which is great. And then I'll be sharing at the 6 o'clock.
Ooh, yes.
And Erica, do you remember the title of my message at the 6 o'clock?
It's a surprise.
It's a hint, Erica. The hint means look it up. There you go.
Oh,
it'll be on your phone.
You know what?
Facebook.
The top comment on the streams will get to name the sermon title.
Oh, no. I don't have to wait. Erica, you don't have to wait. It's all right. I'm just teasing you. Okay. I don't need you to look it up. But it's called generosity.
Oh, that's right. Generosity.
And generosity is something that means... Yeah, we push back. It's generosity.
Yes.
So the message is called generosity, and it's about how, even these times, we learn how to be generous.
Yes.
And it's not about just money, but it's about our whole attitude and mental health, everything else, just being kind to each other, which is really good. So we're looking forward to having everybody around.
Yeah.
And please don't forget to register.
Register,
You're coming because we have limited numbers.
Wash your hands.
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
Yeah. All those things. All right, well, we're going to sign off right now, and so maybe we can just pray a blessing, do it differently.
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
So, Father, I just pray over each and every one and over the subjects we talked about. No matter who we are, we need to be saved.
Yes.
And all of us, Lord, are saved by grace. It doesn't matter what areas of sin. It could be lying. It could be stealing. It could be immorality. Any area, Lord, we need saving.
Yes.
So I pray for Josh and his family in the UK. I pray for that pastor, Lord, and the battle he might face in his conservative views. I pray over the American elections. I pray, Lord, over the state elections here. And I pray in regards to COVID-19 for favor, Lord, that we just break this thing in your name. Cover everybody in the peace and the power of God. We speak your favor and love upon them in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Ed.
Thank you, Shaun.
Erica, for being here with us. And so great. Will you be back again with us, Erica? Okay. She's not sure. Long as you're well. Yes. Okay. And do you finish off with a certain song?
I mean, we kind of just